Hi, I'm Mara. Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from my life. Now let's get into it. It's one of those mornings where an extra cup of coffee is non-negotiable. The sunlight barely filters through the closed blinds, as if trying not to disturb the fragile peace in our home. Here, in the quiet corner of the kitchen, I find a moment of solace with my medication lined up next to my mug, each pill a small promise of normalcy in my otherwise chaotic health journey. Ethan, have you seen my new prescription bottle? I call out, scanning the countertop. From the hallway, his voice echoes back, a mix of urgency and concern. I haven't touched it, Mara. Maybe check in the bathroom again. His suggestion sends me on a fruitless search through our small, cluttered apartment. Bathroom cabinets, bedroom nightstands, even under the couch. Places that have become all too familiar hiding spots for my essentials, especially when his mother visits. Your mom called last night, didn't she? I ask, my voice heavy with more than just curiosity as I confront Ethan in the living room. He pauses, a frown creasing his usually light features. Yeah, she did, Mara. She's just worried about us, about how much you're relying on those meds. Worried, or does she still think I'm faking it? The bitterness in my voice surprises even me. But it's hard to keep the edge out when Dorothy's disbelief has been a constant shadow over our marriage. Ethan sighs, running a hand over his face. She's from a different time, thinks differently, but she loves us, Mara. Does she love us, or does she love controlling us, Ethan? I press, not willing to back down. Every time she wades into our lives, I feel like I'm the one drowning. He steps closer, his intent to comfort clear. But his next words falter on his lips as if unsure. Mara, she suggested. Suggested what? My heart races, a mix of fear and anger simmering just below the surface. That maybe you try a few weeks without the meds, to prove to her you're really sick. The room spins a bit, and I steady myself against the back of the sofa. And you told her what? That her unlicensed, unmedical opinion is more important than my doctor's. It's not like that, he insists. She thinks it's all in your head, And you didn't defend me? The accusation hangs heavy between us. I did, Mara. I always do. It's just hard, you know. His plea is sincere, his conflict obvious, but it's not enough to soothe the sting of betrayal. Hard for you or hard for me? I challenge, the pills in my hand, now a symbol of the battles I face, both seen and unseen, because right now it feels like I'm fighting this on my own. Ethan's shoulders slump, his usual resolve melting under the weight of our reality. I'm sorry, Mara. I'll talk to her again. I'll fix this. As he leaves for work, the promise lingers but does little to quell the turbulence left in his wake. I turn back to my pill organizer, the neat rows of capsules now blurred through the tears welling in my eyes. Here, in the quiet aftermath of our morning skirmish, I brace myself for the upcoming medical review and the ever-looming presence of Dorothy in our lives. Her skepticism a constant echo in our conversations. But as I stand resolute, I know this. I will fight for my health, with or without their belief, because in this battle, the truest victory is survival, and I intend to survive. You didn't. Please tell me you didn't just throw them away. I say, my voice a mix of disbelief and rising panic. I had to, Mara. Mom was so certain. You know how she gets. She thought if you went without them and nothing changed, she'd see she was wrong. Ethan's words tumble out in a rushed whisper, his face a portrait of regret. And you thought gambling with my health was the way to prove a point to your mother. The room feels colder, the walls inching closer as my heart hammers against my ribs. It's not like that. I just wanted peace, Mara, for all of us. He reaches out, but I step back, my trust fraying like worn fabric. Peace? By making me stick. You call that peace, Ethan? My laugh is hollow bitter as I back away from him. I'm sorry, I didn't think. No, you didn't think. That's exactly right. My words slice through the tense air, my anger sharpening them like knives. And now, without my meds, I'm spiraling. Do you get that? Spiraling, Ethan. He sinks into the couch, his hands buried in his hair, the weight of his choice pressing down on him visibly. I can fix this. I'll get new ones, talk to the doctor, whatever it takes. And what about her, Ethan? What about Dorothy? When do you stop letting her puppeteer our lives? My question hangs heavy between us, loaded with years of her interference. I don't know. Well, think fast, because I'm not going to sit around being your mother's experiment. I'm pacing now, each step releasing a fraction of the storm inside me. The next day, while Ethan's at work, I find the old tape recorder, dusty but functional. It feels deceitful, underhanded even. But what choice do I have? I tuck it into the lining of my purse, a small bulge of betrayal and necessity. At dinner, Dorothy is all smiles and passive-aggressive jabs. Feeling better today, dear? You look, well, the same. Her eyes gleam with unspoken accusations. Funny, isn't it? How some illnesses don't have faces. You never know the battles someone's fighting just by looking at them. My tone is casual, but my fingers twitch around the purse strap. Oh, I can imagine, Dorothy says, her voice dripping with false sweetness. So many people these days claim things just for attention. Not that I'm saying you are, dear, but it does make you wonder. Her words are sugared poison. It does make you wonder who you can really trust. I reply, my voice steady as the recorder silently captures every venom-laced word. Trust is important, you know. Ethan trusts me. He knows I only want what's best for him, for you both. Her voice is too smooth, too calculated. And what you think is best is what matters, right, Dorothy? Even if it's not actually what's best for us? I challenge, steering the conversation like a pilot navigating stormy skies. Well, I am his mother. Who knows him better than me? Her laugh, light and chilling, fills the dining room, the recorder catching every bit of condescension, manipulation, and her blatant disregard for my well-being. Dinner with Dorothy is a masterclass in endurance, each course served with a side of insinuations. Really, Mara, all these medications, it's more mental, don't you think? A crutch, she says, her voice syrupy sweet, her words dipped in venom. Sometimes what we perceive as mental is just misunderstood. I counter smoothly, my fingers brushing against the recorder, ensuring it's still capturing every word. Oh, misunderstandings are common in families. But we're family now, aren't we? We can be honest here. A smirk plays on Dorothy's lips, the kind that tells me she's enjoying this far too much. Honesty's a two-way street, I reply, keeping my voice steady despite the pounding of my heart. The meal drags on, with Dorothy dancing around her true intentions, veiling her digs and fox concern. But as we linger over dessert, her guard drops just enough, coaxed by the false security of the familial setting. Ethan told me he helped you cleanse from those pesky pills. It's for the best, really, you'll see. Everyone will see soon enough that you've been just fine without them. Her grin is all teeth, no warmth. I feel a cold shiver down my spine, but I maintain my composure. And if I'm not just fine, I ask, my tone deceptively calm. Then I suppose you'll have proven me wrong, but we both know that won't happen, Dorothy. Her confidence is infuriating, but it's exactly what I need on tape. The next morning, my body betrays me. The lack of proper medication takes its toll, leaving me writhing on the floor, clutching my chest, gasping for breath. Ethan finds me, panic etched across his face as he dials for an ambulance. His mother's theories are far from his mind in the face of stark reality. In the sterile white of the hospital room, hooked to monitors and IVs, I make my plans. The recording is safe, tucked away, a silent ace up my sleeve. Ethan sits beside me, his eyes hollow with worry. I can't believe this happened, Mara. I should have never listened to her, he says, his voice breaking, laden with guilt. We can't change the past, but we can affect the future. It starts with facing the truth together. I reach for his hand, the recorder now burning a hole in my purse, metaphorically speaking. What do you mean? Ethan's brow furrows as his gaze meets mine. I recorded everything, Ethan. Every word your mother said about my illness, about the medication. It's time we confronted her with proof. My voice is firm, resolve steeled by nights of pain and betrayal. You recorded, Mom. His initial shock morphs into understanding, the pieces falling into place. Mara, if this is what it takes, then let's do it. Let's stop this once and for all. With legal counsel briefed and strategies laid out, the confrontation is inevitable. Dorothy arrives punctually, her demeanor composed, until we play the recording. The playback echoes through the room, her own words revealing the true nature of her intentions. This is out of context, she protests, her voice cracking as her carefully constructed facade begins to crumble. She stammered, the facade crumbling as she faced not just me, but an irrefutable betrayal of her own making. There's no context that justifies what you've done, Dorothy. I trusted you. We trusted you. And you endangered my life for what? To prove a point. Ethan's voice was steady, but the disappointment was palpable. The legal threats were clear. Her actions were not just morally reprehensible, but criminally liable. As Dorothy realized the gravity of the situation, her bluster deflated, replaced by a rare, reluctant silence. Sitting there, in that charged atmosphere of reckoning, the path forward became clearer than it had ever been. This battle, born from whispered conspiracies and cruel intentions, would end with the truth laid bare and justice, though delayed, ready to be served. "This is it, Ethan. Today, we set things right," I said firmly as we sat across from Dorothy in the small, stark conference room of our lawyer's office. The air was tense, charged with the impending confrontation. Dorothy sat rigidly, her usual demeanor of control slipping as she glanced between Ethan and me, a flicker of unease in her eyes. "I don't understand why we're here like this, Ethan, darling. What is this all about?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. Ethan's response was measured, but I could hear the tremble in his voice. "Mom, it's about what you've done. Mara, play the recording." I nodded, pressing the play button on the recorder. Dorothy's voice filled the room, stark against the backdrop of her current vulnerable state. "I told Ethan to get rid of those pills," her voice echoed, condemning her as the reality of her words settled in. Dorothy's face paled, her eyes darting to Ethan, searching for some sign of support, but there was none. "Ethan, I was just worried. I didn't mean." "You didn't mean what, Mom? To hurt me? To nearly kill my wife?" Ethan's voice rose, a crescendo of pain and betrayal. How could you? How could you play with Mara's life like that?" Dorothy stammered, her composure cracking. I thought it was for the best. I didn't believe she was really sick. I thought she was lying, taking you away from me. By risking her life?" "No, Mom, that's not concern. That's control, and it's wrong." Ethan's declaration was a barrier she couldn't cross. Miss Patel, our lawyer, interjected, her tone professional but stern. "Mrs. Dorothy, we have enough here for a serious legal case, emotional abuse, endangerment, manipulation. What do you have to say for yourself?" Dorothy's voice was barely a whisper, her usual fire reduced to embers. "I am sorry. I was wrong. Can we fix this?" "Sorry doesn't change what you did. We're moving forward with the charges," I said, not out of vengeance but out of necessity. The need for accountability was crystal clear. The legal discussions that followed were a blur, with terms like settlement and restraining orders tossed around. Dorothy agreed to a settlement, the terms strict and non-negotiable. She was to pay for all medical expenses and damages, a financial acknowledgement of her physical and emotional trespasses. As we left the office, Ethan took my hand, his grip tight. "Mara, I'm so sorry for everything, for not standing by you sooner. It's going to take time, Ethan. A lot of it. But today was a good first step." I replied, my words not just for him, but for myself as well, a reminder of the path forward. "I know, and I'm here for all of it. We'll rebuild together." Ethan's promise rang with a sincerity that had been missing before. The weight of his mother's influence finally lifted. In the days that followed, my health began to stabilize, my body no longer a battleground for familial warfare, but a testament to resilience. I started attending therapy, both individual and couples, with Ethan, each session a brick in the foundation we were rebuilding. Life settled into a new rhythm, one where my voice was heard and my health prioritized. Ethan and I grew closer, the scars of the past slowly healing into lessons for the future. And as I reclaimed my health and our life together, I knew this: I was no longer just a survivor, but a victor. My spirit and body were no longer shackled by deceit, but lifted by truth and justice. The story has reached its conclusion, and Mara's struggle for justice has unfolded. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you were in Mara's shoes, would you have gone as far as recording a private conversation to expose the truth? Or would you have chosen a different path to prove your point? Your opinions are valuable, and I'm really interested in seeing different perspectives on handling such a delicate situation. Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more intriguing tales. Your support helps us continue to bring these stories to life.